They don't trend, they don't have stars. Some don't even have full highlight reels, and yet Alabama wants them badly. While the rest of college football is busy counting five-star commits like trophies, the Crimson Tide is assembling something else entirely. A team that doesn't fit the mold, doesn't make headlines, but might just dominate the next decade. It's not a rebuild, it's a recon mission. And the names involved, you've probably never even heard of them. But here's the thing, Alabama doesn't recruit like everyone else. They see before the world catches on. They move before the buzz. So what exactly is Nick Saban's successor building behind the curtain? And the real question is, what does Alabama know that the rest of college football doesn't? Every offseason, there's a rhythm to college football. Commitments, highlight tapes, ranking debates, viral workouts. It's a cycle, predictable, loud, and increasingly shaped by algorithms. But in Tuscaloosa, the rhythm is different. While rivals fight over five-star fireworks, Alabama moves in silence. Their recruiting board isn't just a list of who's trending, it's a war map. And right now, it's lit with names that barely register on the national radar. Butler, Isaac McNeel, not headliners, not yet. But if you've been watching Alabama long enough, you've seen this movie before. Flashback to Keelon Russell, a quiet recruit with little buzz, until Alabama called. Suddenly the conversation shifted, and months later, offers rolled in like dominoes. Michigan, Oregon, Miami. The same schools that once overlooked him were now racing to keep up. That's not luck, that's vision, that's process. And that's where Courtney Morgan and Holman Wiggins come in, two of the sharpest minds in talent evaluation today. They're not recruiting the now, they're predicting the next. But here's where it gets deeper. These recruits aren't just late bloomers. They're early investments. Some don't even have full Hudel profiles. Others haven't attended national camps. And still, Alabama is moving fast. Why? Because they're not scouting with star ratings. They're scouting with intelligence. Think about it. In a sport where every team follows trends, Alabama sets them. And if they're chasing names that no one else even sees, what does that say about what's coming? Could these silent moves be part of a larger play, a strategy to outmaneuver not just rivals, but the entire recruiting ecosystem itself? And if that's true, what else are they hiding? This isn't random. It's not about collecting scattered talent. There's a design here, and it's hiding in plain sight. Start with Xavier Sab. If that last name rings a bell, it should. He's the younger brother of not one, but two current Alabama players. His bloodline bleeds crimson. His film, raw, yes, but oozing with NFL traits. So why is his recruitment oddly quiet? Why all the delays, the reshuffles, the no clear timeline talk? Because Alabama is letting it breathe. They don't need to make noise. They already have the edge, the connection, the trust, the family. Everyone else is playing catch-up. Then there's KJ Green, a four-star edge rusher with the motor of a bulldozer and the agility of a wideout. Most recruits take official visits first, but not KJ. He's doing a multi-day unofficial before the official, a subtle but telling move. That kind of commitment, that's not curiosity, that's emotional investment, that's foundation. And then we get to Brandon Lley, a top 250 linebacker who could have led with flashier visits. He didn't. He opened with Alabama, then Nebraska, then Duke. It's like starting a concert with the headliner. When a recruit starts with Bama, it's rarely by accident. It's almost always a signal. Now, zoom out. These players aren't top 10. They're not headlining ESPN segments. But the thread is unmistakable. Early attention, deep contact, strategic timing. And here's the real twist. Alabama's not chasing the loudest names. They're tracking the risers, the undervalued for now. Players who may not peak on recruiting boards today, but will peak on Saturdays when it matters. So why aren't analysts screaming about this? Why isn't the media all over it? Because Alabama doesn't want them to be. This isn't just scouting, it's a silent network of influence. Calls made at the right time, visits structured with care, silence used as strategy, which begs the question, what else have they already locked in, before the world even knew to look? Here's where it gets even more interesting. And it's not just about who Alabama is bringing in, it's how they're doing it. While analysts scramble to chart star rankings and commit graphs, Alabama's real moves are happening underneath the surface. Look at the headlines from this offseason. Most people miss them, but they're not noise, they're code. Kedrick Bingley-Jones, once a top defensive tackle at UNC, just got approval for a 7th year of eligibility. That's not a typo. 7. A walking vault of experience, technique, and mental resilience. Most programs wouldn't even bother. But Alabama, they called him in. Why? Because while the world obsesses over upside, Alabama knows what it's like to need maturity on the field in Week 9 when the SEC turns into a war zone. Now contrast that with the unranked, unnoticed names we mentioned earlier. Elijah Butler, Isaac McNeel. Young, hungry, underrated. It's not one or the other. Alabama is stacking timelines, combining wisdom with wildness. It's chess with every piece in motion. Then you've got the internal shuffle. A key assistant coach quietly exits for Rice. No drama, no headlines, but look deeper. These transitions free space for a recalibrated staff. Coaches handpicked for a new kind of roster, one not built around ego or spotlight, but around fit, projection, and purpose. And while that happens, behind closed doors, a quarterback battle brews. Keelon Russell versus Mack. Two young guns, two wildly different styles, both capable of leading a reload, not just a rebuild. But the focus from Alabama's side? Silence. No leaks, no media parades, just tape reps and internal evaluations. This entire structure, it's not reactive, it's predictive. They're not following trends. They're engineering a program for seasons that haven't even started yet. They're embedding future leaders in the locker room now and training them to see pressure not as danger, but as design. Think about that. Most schools recruit to survive. Alabama recruits to evolve. And that raises the question, if these moves are happening now, in the quiet, what storm are they preparing for next? Here's the real plot twist, the part no one saw coming because it wasn't meant to be seen. These so-called unranked recruits, they're not bench warmers, they're not backups, they're not even projects, they're prototypes. Think about that word. Prototypes aren't finished products. They're blueprints for the future. They're what comes before the wave. Alabama isn't just scouting talent, they're designing it. They're shifting the very foundation of how football players are found, built, and launched. Recruiting used to be about stars. The higher the rating, the bigger the chase. But what happens when a program becomes so dominant that it stops chasing? Alabama is no longer waiting for on-3 rivals or 247 sports to validate a player's worth. They're operating ahead of the algorithm, identifying potential that no one else even knows exists yet. You've seen the names: Keelon Russell, Kedrick Bingley-Jones, Isaac McNeel, Elijah Butler. Some of them don't even have highlight reels, but Alabama's staff doesn't care. They trust what can't be measured. Body language, decision-making, grit, adaptability. This isn't about dominating today's rankings. It's about controlling the pipeline. They're rewriting the recruiting playbook. It's not about who's hot now. It's about who's going to change the game later. Let's not forget, this is the same program that turned overlooked players into NFL legends. And now they're leaning into that method even harder, with more data, more precision, and zero concern for public applause. What we're watching isn't a rebuild. It's not even a reload, it's a reprogramming. Alabama is engineering the next evolution of the sport, and no one's talking about it because the stars haven't caught up yet. By the time the headlines arrive, it'll be too late. So the question is, if Alabama is already playing the game of 2029 in 2026, who's really behind? What if the next Heisman winner isn't even ranked yet? What if the future of college football isn't built in the spotlight, but in silence? Alabama's not reacting. They're forecasting. They're building with patience, precision, and vision that stretches years ahead of the curve. While the world stares at stars, Alabama is mapping constellations. So now it's your turn. Is this a masterclass in scouting genius, or just a lucky wave Alabama's riding once again? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to know where you stand. And if you don't want to miss the next chapter in this unfolding storm, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. Because while the rest of the world's waiting for breaking news, you'll already be ahead of it.